Hi, my name is Jessie Gentles. I am a third-year software engineering major at Miami University, Oxford, and I am a part of cohort 11 of the Lilly Leadership Institute. Today, we will be speaking a little bit about knowledge workers and the ability to embrace AI as it advances in our society.
And I'm Sarah Freeman. I'm also a third-year engineering student. I'm studying mechanical and manufacturing engineering at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. And I am also a member of cohort 11 in the Lilly Leadership Institute. So now I'll have Tony go ahead and introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Tony Sumrall. Well, I've been in tech since I graduated from systems analysis, which was the precursor for CEC. And I've been out here in lovely California since 1980. I've been in the high-tech space ever since then, working with large companies, small companies. I've had a couple of startups. I've got some patents under my belt. I've been doing tech for as long as I can remember.
Well, we'll just go ahead and get started with our questions. So my first question is, as someone who currently works in technology, what are some of the fears about generative AI that you've heard from people around you?
Well, so it depends on the people. It depends on the people, the person, and kind of how long they've been in the business, right? If they've been in the business a long time, then they've seen more changes than you can imagine, and either they're just tired of adapting, or they're excited about a new change. Tired of adapting is, I mean, that's just that's fatigue, right? If you haven't been in the business a long time, then it seems like a lot of the people that I've talked with are not so much afraid that they're going to lose their jobs, but they're afraid that they're not going to be able to keep up. And they don't really know well, of course, they don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, and they don't really know how it's going to affect their lives. But not knowing how to keep up when you're already full tilt, working 10, 12 hours a day, 5, 6 days a week. And then you've got to adapt to a new technique that is supposed to make life easier for you. All of these things are supposed to make life easier. And so trying to incorporate something that's supposed to make your life easier while still meeting all of your deadlines, that's pretty heavy.
Thank
That's
you. And how do you believe some of these fears can be addressed as workplaces move to implement more AI tools in the next few years?
I think a big part of it can be addressed. So for knowledge workers in particular, for people who are exposed on a daily basis to technology, demonstrating the goodness and the efficiencies and the optimizations that they can accrue helps a lot of people, right? If you're not a knowledge worker, then you've got to do something about the fear. And there's always this fear of the unknown. And so again, it's demonstrating and showing how it can help. Maybe offering retraining programs for non-knowledge workers to help them get their feet wet, if you will. The things that are going on today with AI, just out here in the everyday world, are pretty amazing, and it's infecting, or it's affecting, I guess maybe is another term, all aspects of things. Amazon is using it to give better suggestions for what they want you to buy. Amazon bought into another company in a big way. we all know about OpenAI and ChatGPT, and we know about Bing, and we know about Bard, but uh, Amazon bought into another company that has been fairly quiet, that produces a product called Claude, which is a phenomenal AI. And of course, there's Meta at Facebook, who are developing their own AI. So um, I think as it becomes more a part of our everyday life, it should become easier for people to accept and embrace it.
All right. And my next question is, which fields do you think generative AI will impact the most in the next 5 to 10 years?
I, I mean, I can't imagine what it's going to do in the next year, right? The advances that I've been working with OpenAI's product since November of last year when they first announced it, and the changes that I've seen just in the last 11 months are incredible. There are over 100 new products that come out every week that utilize generative AI in some way. Over 100, and this has been the case for months. So, how will it? I mean, all I can say is, actually, there's a couple of things I can say. One is, we're not going to recognize things in 3 years. It's not going to be anything at all like what it is now. This is akin to the invention of the airplane, or the Wright brothers, or the invention of the personal computer. The things that we have seen in the last few months, if they're any indication, and I expect it'll slow down, I mean, your industries, by the time you graduate, will be completely different. It's being used everywhere now. It's being used in medicine. It's being used in, obviously, computer science. It's being used in advertising. It's being used in search engine optimization. You can create websites by typing on your computer and saying what you want it to do. You can, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So I think the only thing that I can say is, we won't recognize it. Every industry will have a major, it will have a major effect on every industry.
All right, so you alluded to this actually a little bit. So we're college students. We're about to enter our careers. You've seen a lot of change. You've had a lot of experience in tech. What would you recommend to those that will be future knowledge workers in the next few years to prepare for the advancements that are going to be in the workplace today?
Embrace it now. Use it every day. Use it in your daily life. I mean, use every one that you can get your hands on. Become familiar with it. Learn what a prompt is. Now, prompting is the way today. Writing a good prompt can give you good results, or writing a bad prompt can give you bad results, right? That's going to change, right? The whole inference part of taking apart the stuff that we give it to get responses is going to get a lot better. But nonetheless, understand it. The more you know, the better off you're going to be. And I don't care what your area of concentration is, if it's medicine, if it's the bioscience, if it's accounting, right? Becoming exposed to it, finding out as much as you can while you're in a learning environment, is going to prepare you better than anything else. And I mean, I use it every day. I use it literally every day. And most often, I use it to help me write code. Yeah, I use it to help me learn new programming languages. I sat down with a few months ago. I had a thing that I needed to get done on Windows 11. I don't know PowerShell, which is a scripting language. So I sat down with ChatGPT and I said, I need a PowerShell program to do this. And it spit out a program for me. Didn't work right out of the box, but 2 hours later, it was running on my computer, and I had no idea how to do PowerShell. Right? I mean, those are the things that I use it for. You can use it to pretty up an email. Yeah, uh, use it every day. Use it every chance you get.
All right, that's actually a really good transition to our next question, which you touched on this already, but how do you think generative AI will continue to evolve for everyday use? So not necessarily specific to, coding or in the workplace, but just for everyone.
Well, so I'm a science fiction fan. I've been a science fiction fan since I was a kid. Um, Everything that I have seen in all of my years has been predicted by science fiction. Um, so, uh, how do I think it's going to affect or be used in everyday life? I mean, Google and Amazon tried to address some of this with the Google Home speakers and with the Amazon Echo devices and things like that. Well, Google is incorporating Bard into the Google Assistant. And now you'll be able to ask it things that have to do with the everyday world, right? This is going to happen more and more often. If you happen to get into a smart home, I've got automations all over the place here. If you happen to get into a smart home, it will more effectively learn your patterns and respond to them, right? Your car will uh, uh, let's assume that we go EV and we get away from internal combustion engines. Your car will figure out when you mostly use it and how much you use it, and automatically power itself. And that's just, I mean, that says nothing about what can happen with robotics, right? Because AI and robotics now, it wouldn't surprise me if we have an actual useful robot thing running around our house in the not too distant future. I mean, uh, uh, it's going to affect everything from optimizing power use of your refrigerator to optimizing the power use of of any device. I mean, the possibilities are endless. It won't necessarily reduce prices, even though it probably should. But hopefully it will give us some extra leisure time to pursue some of our other passions.
Do you have any insight in terms of like maybe managerial structure, how embracing AI is going to have to trickle down from whoever's making the decision all the way down to the knowledge worker? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
it does. It does, and I would hope that it doesn't trickle down. I would hope that the way that you make this work is you make it work at all levels in the organization, right? If the people on the bottom, which is where I've been most of my life, feel like it's being handed down as an edict, they're going to resist it just on general principles in a lot of cases, right? If you can get people at every level of the organization who see the goodness, who understand uh, what it can understand the optimizations and the efficiencies, and can become, I wouldn't say cheerleaders, I kind of wouldn't even say ambassadors. They're just like local people that go, yeah, that's a good thing. I can see how that would help me do this, right? I've been through countless upgrades, and the ones that are effective, the ones that happen the smoothest, the quickest, and are most successful are the ones where the grassroots people already believe in it. So yes, embrace it.
So I just want to make sure that I got what you were saying there. You're saying that in order to get people to embrace AI, we need to make it kind of available to everyone, like in the workplace. Is that
More than just available. I
Mhm.
mean, like uh, one of the big things that was going around the industry a few years ago was gamification, right?
Mhm.
Where it's kind of a toy and you kind of get to play with it and you get points and stuff like that. That can help in some environments, but just yeah, making it available, but also having good accessible information that doesn't seem to be coming from an oracle, right? Seems to be coming from a coworker, somebody that you already know and trust, or somebody that if you don't already know and trust, you know people who do know and trust them. It's, I mean, organic change is the easiest to handle, and it's also kind of the most difficult to accomplish. To make it organic, people have to be familiar with it, at least in passing, and understand enough of it to believe that it will help them. And it's not just some crazy idea that the CIO or the CTO or the CEO has gone off on, right? So I hope that explains that.
Yes, it did. Thank you.